everyone, my name is Webweaver and welcome back to another episode of World of Horror. And I was thinking about something really interesting before I hit the record button. And that is that so I played Lords of the Fallen for a couple hours at this point, and Lords of the Fallen is not going to be daily, mainly because that shit just takes 80 years to render, or at least the last one did, because I made it 2K instead of 1080p. Or I rendered it at like 2160, whatever that means. I just used a preset, okay? It made it look slightly better when it was not, the bitrate wasn't killing it with a moving image, which was most of it, but you know, it made the still shots look slightly better in the video itself. I think it's still processing to this day, honestly, but anyways, I was thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, Lords of the Fallen is like awkward, bizarre, and like kind of mid. Like I don't really like it, you know. If you were to ask me if I like Lords of the Fallen 2023, I would say no. It's probably like a 4 or 5 out of 10 right now. It's like pretty scrunkly, but like in a bad way, you know. Like I'm not really enjoying it, but I keep going back to it, and I have a desire to play it. Does that make sense? And then I was thinking to myself, man, I could be spending my time on so much better shit. Like, I could be playing Armored Core 6, and then that's when I realized it. Armored Core 6 is a good game. Fatalist, huh? Fatalist random item statistics, okay. Is it Armored Core 6 is a good game, and I have no desire to play it. Armored Core 6 is, I would say it's a great game, even. It's really fun. I enjoyed playing it a lot. I had like a little nitpick with how I felt more like a power armored game than like being in like a giant robot game. But no, Armored Core 6 is fucking fantastic. If I had played enough games that came out in 2023, I would put it on the top 10 list. It would probably be in the top 5. Would I put Lords of the Fallen in the top 10 list? No, Lords of the Fallen so far is bad. And, I mean, I've only done, like, the tutorial boss and then the first boss in the game, but neither of those bosses were fun at all. And then the sneak peek we got of, like, the final boss or, like, one of the end bosses or whoever that guy's gonna end up being, the sneak peek of that fight was bad. I didn't like it. The camera is too bad to have an enemy flying around quickly and then jumping on you. The camera's just terrible. And so I'm thinking about it. I'm like thinking about it. And I'm like, why is it that I have an active desire? Like before I recorded this and got, you know, strength, charisma, seconds, and a light source. Before that, like literally, I was thinking, oh man, I really want to play Lords of the Fallen. But not because it's good, because it's bad. And that's when I realized that I like games that are kind of fucked up. I like games that I don't like. Like, those are the games that I want to play the most. The last game that I played that I really, really enjoyed was Endwalker, and then before that, it was like Nier Automata, right? Like, but most of the games that I've played that came out recently in between those points have been like, the game is janky as fuck, the game is bad, or the game is like... And I've enjoyed them, right? Like, another thing, Potionomics. Beautiful game, absolutely love it, no desire to play it. Right? Like, Potionomics is absolutely fucking fantastic. It's probably one of the better, like, indie potion-making games that's come out in, like, the past, decade. It's amazing. Really, really good. Beautiful work of art. I got past chapter 1 or act 1 or whatever it is. I did the first tournament and I won easily. And despite how fucking good the game is, I've just never gone back to it. I've never gone back to it at all. I just completely dropped off the face of the earth. Don't care about it anymore. Actually, Sonic Frontiers was really, really good too. But that game was kind of fucking janky as well. You know, you'd get stuck in the environment. You'd be following sort of like the more like, this is a scripted boost section or whatever, and you just get launched off the platform at Mach 10 and die. There was some jank in Sonic Frontiers, but I did really enjoy it, though. And then I guess Fear and Hunger 2 was also really good, but, like, Fear and Hunger 2 is an exclusionary, like, not-for-everybody bullshit game, you know? So while I think Fear and Hunger 2 is really, really well designed, I think that it's, like, you know... it also sort of scratches that itch that, like, a bad game also does, but, like, in a better way. Like, Fear and Hunger 2 is an amazing game. Funger is a great game. You should absolutely, if you're into, like, hardcore games where you can lose hours of progress, Funger 2 is fantastic. Funger 1, I couldn't really get into. It was a bad time for me to try to get into it, honestly. It was a bad time. But, Funger 2, absolutely phenomenal. Easily lost, like, 60 hours of my life to that game over a couple of weeks. It was absolutely fantastic. Staying up to... That was one of the classic gaming experiences where you get so enamored by a game you just spend, like, you know, you legitimately spend, like, the clock is midnight, you blink, the clock is 6 a.m. and the sun is rising. It's like, that's the real shit, you know? But a lot of the games that I play are games that I think are, like, kind of mid, or, like, have, like, really bad elements to them that I don't like. And even, like, Final Fantasy XIV, to an extent, has stuff like that, because it's like, you know, you go in and you... How do I put it? Like, you go in, and there are just, like, things in the game that I never want to do, but I do. You know, like, I started the Shadowbringer Relic last night, and the Shadowbringer Relic is fucking horrible. The first step for the Shadowbringer's Relic is to do 60 Heavensward Fates. So you have to go do fates in a previous expansion in areas that level you down so where you don't have all your fun skills, and, well, the fates level you down, not the areas. And you just have to spam those fates. And the thing is, because I'm not doing it in the heyday when everybody else was doing it, I'm doing these fates alone. Nobody's in these Heavensward areas because they're dead. The only people in the Heavensward areas are doing it for the fucking MSQ or for the fucking Alexander raids. Like, nobody else is doing this shit for any other purpose. And so I've done 41 fates so far, and I only encountered 2 other people. It was miserable. And I only encountered those 2 people for like 3 fates, and then they fucked off because they died to the... It was that one Heavensward fate with the giant turtle dragon that does dragon stomp and then it, like, kills you. It was that one. You need, like, a whole fucking group of people to take it down. Like, it is not a fate that you can just do casually, like, under any circumstance. But what was I gonna say? I guess we're just gonna go to the police station here. I don't know, it's just, like, there are some things about games, specifically, like, if just a solid, good game comes out, my interest in it drops significantly. If a genuinely fantastic game comes out, unless it scratches a specific itch for me, I'm probably not gonna beat it. But if a scrunkly, weird, awkward, bizarre game that while I'm playing it, I'm thinking, what the fuck were these guys doing when they were making this? This is crazy. What drugs were they on? What were they doing? What were they experiencing? What was the development of this game like? You know? The idea that that is an experience that I like way more than the game just being really good is kind of crazy. Like, if I think about it, really. That's really lucky, too, by the way. Let's try to get a whatchamacallit. If we get a Tainted Violin, it is absolutely worth losing the 1 point of perception from the fucking hallucinations. Abso-fucking-lutely. We're balling with this information right now. But, yeah, no, it's, I don't know, I have, like, a very intense desire to play fucking... What's doomed? The Seaside is doomed? We're never gonna have to worry about the Seaside explicitly being doomed, because there's no mystery that locks you in the Seaside. So this is pretty safe, in case we get locked into the forest, making it as safe as possible. Nothing locks you in the downtown either, so we don't have to worry about either of those 2 things. Well, we'll respond to the man. It's a 4-4 chance anyways, and that's fucking fantastic. Although losing that is also horrible. The events are very, like, you do it big or you go home. And by that I mean you restart the game, because they're pretty punishing. That's completely fine, though. I like events like that. Swing events are very fun when they're interactive, unlike, you know, Miku's fucking plus 7% Doom. Whoa, Doom be upon ye. But, what was I gonna say? I don't even know what I was gonna say anymore. Kind of unlucky with that, though. 80% chance kind of sucks, actually. I almost want to shoot here. Just then I start blasting. We'll be able to guarantee she's dead next turn if this misses. I don't want it to miss, but we're kind of good with that. And we have another gunshot just in case, but I would hopefully prefer to just leave this mystery as quickly as possible. We're getting down to the 25%. Never mind. All right, we're feeling pretty good about that. Second enemy Shiro-san. Yeah, no, I think it's really interesting because, like, think about it this way. Like, I have played more of World of Horror. Like, World of Horror, this might surprise you, but World of Horror is not... Like, World of Horror is coming out in 4 days. The 19th, right? Yeah, the 19th. World of Horror is coming out in 4 days. I would not put this game in the top 5. I don't even know if I would put it in the top 10, because it's not really fair to say that I would put it in the top 10, because of course I'd put it in the top 10. The games that I've played that came out in 2023 are gonna be this one, Lords of the Fallen, and Alan Wake 2, and maybe like a couple others. So yeah, it would get a place in the top 10 by default, but like, seriously, like, what on earth am I playing that came out this year? Besides, like, I guess Armored Core 6 came out this year too, right? Yeah, it came out in August of this year. So it's like Armored Core 6, Alan Wake 2, Lords of the Fallen, World of Horror, yeah. There's a couple of indie games that I've been looking into. Like, there's apparently this one not visual novel, but like point-and-click adventure anime game that came out that's like $3, and the voice actress is Kira Buckland, which drew my attention immediately. Like, what the fuck? This is like a $3 game? And the art style looks amazing. The art style is what drew me to it originally. Did the new Pure Blue Ice game, or whatever not whatever the studio was called, but like, is it Lost Cartridge Cold Read? Did that come out this month or this year? Yes, it did. So I mean, like, that would be a contender because I genuinely love those games. Like, Lily's Well was absolutely fantastic. I really need to get around to Lost Cartridge. But it's like, I am struggling to count games that I've played that came out in 2013 or 2023. I was 10 years off. You know, sorry, I'm just on that 10-year delay, you know. But yeah, no, like, genuinely, it's kind of nuts how I'm actually trying to, like, struggle to think of games that I've played that came out this year. Like, legitimately. And so, that's one of the things, is, like, Lords of the Horror, of the World, of the Cold Read, of the Rubicon Fire. Of course, World of Horror would be on the top 10 list, because I haven't played over 10 games that came out this year. But World of Horror would not make, like, top 50 games of all time or top 100 games of all time. And yet, I play it so much. I've played it more. Like, the only games that I played more than World of Horror: Dragon Age Origins on Xbox 360, Dark Souls 1 across all platforms, Dark Souls 3 across all platforms, and, I mean, obviously Final Fantasy 14, but, like, that's a given. I've put, like, an ungodly amount of time into that game, and I still do every night. But yeah, it's just, like, I've played this game. Like, this game is in the top 10 of my most played games of all time. But it's not in my... It probably would not be in the top 100 video games of all time. Like, my favorite games of all time. It probably wouldn't even be It probably wouldn't be in the top 100. It'd be in the top 200, easily. But, you know, like... The order won't matter anyways, by the way. Real. Oh, hey, Kana, how's it going? OMG, Kana? So we have to do the Schoolyard EXP trick right now if we want to. If we want to actually take advantage of that. But yeah, no, it's really weird, right? Like, I feel like that World of Horror is not a game that I would... Like, if I reviewed World of Horror, I don't think I would do a numerical score, and obviously I like this game. But I don't know, like, it's just so weird, right? Like, I cannot think of, like, how I feel about World of Horror, right? Like, and when I do think about World of Horror, I think about, like, how janky it is. I think about how, like, the meta's completely fucked, how the game is so strange and bizarre, and I really like that, and I really enjoy that. And so it's like, the fact of the matter, and also, like, I never finished uploading it, but Druids, think about that, right? Like, I know I'm rubbing salt, into the wound, but, like, think about it. Like, Druids is a fucking horrible game. And yet, I completed it. And yet, Plunger completed it too. He stuck around to the end. And so, it's like... But then you think of all the good games that I've tried to play, and that I've just immediately fucking dropped off the face of the earth. It's like, yeah, I don't know what it is, but, like, games that are scuffed and bizarre are, like, the ones that I like the most. Right? Like, those are the games that are the real shit. Those are the games that are, like, worth playing. Which feel, like, those are the games that feel really, really good to play. There's no way we're gonna let Canis kill us here, right? Oh, thank God. Alright, now let's do the schoolyard memes here. Yo, what up? Yo, what up? Oh, hey, we got somebody. Cheaper pharmacy items. I mean, at least that's not a downside. Can you give me plus perception? Perhaps? -1 dexterity. Oh. How much EXP do we have? 20? Alright, you fuck off. You join for the cause. -1 luck. That's at least more, like... We're using character-exclusive perks, so, like, also you fuck off. Like, I'm sorry. Double it and give it to the next person. Nobody's here? Alright. Okay, nobody was there. But nobody came. Nobody showed up. Oh, jeez. Given your body needs it, you can't go to sleep now. We gotta just take 80 million sanity damage, right? Yeah. On the Kana mystery, too. Yeah, what am I doing? Can I do this? Can I click this button? I don't think I can. I think this is lose the game. Alright, goodbye, Kana. Fuck you. I didn't even think about that. Maybe we should have taken Insomnia, but Insomnia is way more damage over the course of the game. Just very unlucky, all things considered. We would have 4 sanity right now. We're going into arms? Who knows? It could have worked out, it could have not, but I'm okay with what we've got going on here, assuming we get a good perk. Assuming we get a good perk. I'll take the EXP. Listen, somebody starts chanting enthusiastically next to me, I'm sheep. If it gives me plus 10 experience, I mean... What can I say? Although it does get the entities of reality a little bit closer to tearing all of us limb from limb and breaking reality itself. That'd be pretty bad. Yo, the fat rat being grabbed! OMG, I'm such a big fan. We give him a chance. If we missed a 99% chance, that would be so funny, honestly. How's our Doom going? Our Doom's looking fine. How's our stats looking? We succeeded! I almost want to re-roll. This is just insulting. Absolutely. Lock and load, brother. And by that I mean, it's just the picture of the guy holding the baseball bat, but he's holding the Olympic. Bruh. I mean, we have to take that. Like, the fact that we got that twice in a row sucks. Like, that's honestly pretty horrible. Alright, let's do it. I was actually not afraid to fight that when we've got, whatchamacallit in the back pocket. When we've got a Tainted Violin and Deft Handling, I'm actually feeling pretty confident about our combat capabilities, even though our stats are horrible. I mean, I'm not okay with this. I'm not okay with this under any circumstance. This cannot be healthy. That's true and real. Speaking of this can't be healthy, you know, classic web moment. I was ordering my groceries for the week, and, you know, after I was done ordering my groceries, I had to go take care of some stuff. You know, first thing I did, order groceries. Well, first thing I did when I woke up, order groceries. Then I had some stuff to take care of, let the dog outside, take the dog on a walk. You know, then I had some stuff to prepare and do, and then I had some phone calls to make, and... You know, then you're settling down and then your groceries still haven't shopped for some reason, and you're looking at your phone nervously, because they should have, been handled by now, but that's not, that's not a big deal. It's one of those things where it's like, choose an hour range, and you're just used to the hour range being as quick as possible, but it's like, hey, you actually have, like, such a wide range of delivery times, so, it's not really a big deal. But, you know, the one thing that I forgot to mention there is food I have not eaten yet. Webweaver moment. It just happens, Like, you just kind of forget pretty easily, right? And then you kind of feel a little faint later in the day, and you're like, wait a minute. Did I eat? Oh, no. But don't worry, everything is... Oh, you son of a gun! God damn. Okay, so here's the thing. How are we handling this? We go to the village twice. We're killing the boss. I don't have the sanity not to. Never mind. We're not doing that. We're resting. We're resting again, and then we're just going with the main story, and we're gonna pick a god and pray. That's honestly, I don't know why I was so stupid into ever thinking that we could try to do something finesse, where we could try to finesse World of Horror. You can't finesse this game. It'll always give you the worst possible outcomes. Okay, so honestly, 18, and then we do 16. It's not the best. But we actually have Desperation next turn, so... Out of everything. That is such a fucking Loop Hero sound effect. I swear to God. Getting hit by Miku sounds like something that would happen in Loop Hero. Like, that is just a Loop Hero sound effect. Change my mind. But, yeah, sure. Neat. Hey, can't help but notice we are 10 EXP off, and that we will indeed be marching to our deaths. Sometimes that just happens. Are we paranoid? No. Well. Oh, well, that would have been pretty easy. I mean, I'm not gonna run it back, mainly because I think the raid's back on today. Our raid's been off for a while, so I have not been raiding. I'm out of practice. I've just been, God forbid, leveling, and then starting my Shadowbringer's Relic. That's how degenerate shit has gotten over here. That's how bad the vibe has been. But yeah, I've just been leveling Samurai and Dragoon, because both of those jobs kind of fuck. I think, when I initially started playing Final Fantasy XIV, I always wanted to be a Astrologian and a Dragoon, and White Mage was just the stopgap. But it turns out that I really like White Mage, and I actually hate Astrologian with a burning passion. I think that originally Astrologian was really cool. Yeah, I'm gonna be a boomer about this. Back in the old days of Nocturnal and Diurnal... Was it Diurnal? It was day and night, so it was like Nocturnal and Diurnal, I think. And if you were on day mode, then you were a regen healer. So all of your spells, they healed, and then they gave regeneration effects to your team. But if you were on Nocturnal, then you actually were a barrier healer. So you would heal people and then also give them shields. And I thought that was the coolest fucking thing, because Astrologian can just naturally adapt to whatever situation requires. Now, you had to pick. Like, you couldn't be like, I'm a regen healer right now, and then later on in the fight, I'm a shield healer. No, you had to pick at the beginning, I'm pretty sure. But I never really had a lot of experience with this, because when I picked up Astrologian and I started leveling it, that was around the time that, like, the next patch, like, Endwalker came out and reworked Astrologian. Or, like, was it Endwalker that I actually don't remember when Astrologian got a rework. But basically, like, I only was able to play Astrologian back how it used to be for, like, I don't know, levels 30 to 50. And then after that, they reworked it, and it was, like, so not good. It was, like, Astrologian feels terrible to play. I'm sorry. It does genuinely feel terrible to play. I apologize. It's not fun. I missed being able to go to Nocturnal Sect. I know Nocturnal Sect was bad, but the problem is that they wanted a healer parity, right? So it's like, you had White Mage, Scholar, and Astrologian. And so White Mage was the regen, Scholar was the barrier, and Astrologian was the switch. They could do either. But then they introduced Sage, who was a barrier healer. So you had 2 barrier healers, Astrologian, who was a switch, and then White Mage, which was a pure regen healer. So they just decided to gut like half of Astrologian's kit, or like half of the functionality of Astrologian's kit, and basically just make it to where you're always on the day sect, so you're always having the regen effects. And then they gave you one of the most overpowered abilities in the game, Macrocosmos, and then, which allows you to cheese multiple mechanics, and then I'll never forget being a White Mage was a detriment in P3S, because you could just completely ignore the hardest, like, healing mechanic in that fight, just by snapping your fingers with Macrocosmos. But, like, I hate playing Astrologian. Like, I absolutely despise playing Astrologian. I think Astrologian is very pretty. I actually love the White Mage aesthetic, but I think the Astrologian aesthetic also fucking rocks, and I would love to be able to pull something like that off. It's just I hate playing as Astrologian. And then Dragoon is actually pretty cool, but I think both of them are getting reworks, aren't they, for Dawn Trail? Because originally it was supposed to be Paladin, Dragoon, and Astrologian. I don't know why I blanked there. And for Astrologian specifically, for Astrologian and Dragoon, they decided to put the reworks off and then just rework Paladin. Which, I will be honest, I did not play the original Paladin. However, I have played the new Paladin, and I actually think the new Paladin kind of fucks. I actually really like playing new Paladin, because you have your filler melee phase. I think that one skill, is it Atonement? The one where it's just like single target, single GCD with no combo action, and you use that like 4 times. I think that's like the worst part of playing Paladin. Like, it does just genuinely feel like they were like, okay, we need to keep Paladin's damage consistent, but we don't want to make the burst or the ranged phase too good, and we don't want to make like the melee combo too good. So we're just gonna, like, duct tape this, like, little fix onto the end of it, so Paladin has, like, as much damage as they're expected to have, right? I don't like that. I think Atonement's boring as fuck, because you just press the same button, like, 4 times in a row, and then you go back to your combo, which is more interesting. But I actually love your burst phase being ranged. Like, I actually think that's awesome. Like, your sort of, like, main combo kinda goes hard. So, how do I put it? It's like, I think the Paladin rework has some bad elements, but I also think the Paladin rework is fun. Like, I genuinely enjoy how it plays, besides, like, just, like, having 4 GCDs that feel like they were just, like, literally, like, glued into place, duct taped into place, just so that you can have, like, an eensy little bit more damage. With that being said, I'm probably gonna call it here. So, thank you so much for watching. My name is Webweaver. 4 days to go, yippee. And then we use the new thumbnail that, you know, was made months ago. Because, like, listen, the game was originally announced for a summer release, and so I commissioned a thumbnail for summer, and then I got the thumbnail, and I was like, I'm gonna use this when the game comes out. And then the game was delayed to October, which is completely fine. I think it's absolutely okay to delay games. And plus, it takes like 80 years for content to come out for this game, so it's like, I've waited this long, I can wait a little bit longer. But yeah, no, it's just a little bit, we've been sitting on that thumbnail. I showed the thumbnail off multiple times in the past, like, when we got it, but that was literally, like, that was literally, like, 100+ episodes ago. So I'm thinking to myself, do I show the thumbnail again? And I'm trying to think, like, where is it? Can I get rid of the Tails image? But that's a transparent image. So I would rather get rid of... Okay, this one will be fine. We'll just put this in the center here. Is that even the center? No, it's not the center. Hold on, let me just transform center to screen. There we go. And then let me put the thumbnail in here, because this is a great thumbnail. It's in the Jaguar color palette, and it's Morn hanging out. And eventually, Morn is the profile picture character in the channel. She's the mascot character, if you will. And eventually, it'll be every outfit, but Bunny Bones was busy for the rest of the year. So it's not gonna be until January at the earliest where we're gonna get the other outfits. But basically the idea is to have it to where Morn has one outfit from every character, and you'll be able to identify which character is being played based on what outfit Morn has. So that's pretty based. But for now, it's just going to be the Moriko. Oh my god, that image is way higher resolution. Can we stretch to the screen? Oh, that might look bad, though. That's probably fine. But yeah, so this is what the thumbnail is gonna be. And that's, you know, Moriko's jacket and glasses. And there's a really cool sketch page that we have. I don't know if I'm gonna put, like, an episode number. Maybe it would be in the bottom right, because that's, like, probably where you could put it. But, yeah, I think there has to be an episode number, just for, like, completionist sake. Because the actual color of the thumbnail itself isn't gonna change. So yeah, an episode number is probably gonna have to be mandatory. But yeah, I think it's a really cool thumbnail. I really like it. And eventually more outfits will be there. So you'll be able to... It'll be Moriko for the first 80 years. Not like, you know, we'll be able to play Moriko from the very beginning of the game. Do we rush Moriko and then do a Moriko arc? I'm not entirely sure. Anyways, stay safe out there. Have a good one. Bye.